A new movie is getting both attention and backlash for its comedic treatment of abortion. Unpregnant, now streaming on HBO Max and adapted from the young adult novel by the same name, tells the story of a teenage girl's 1,000-mile road trip with her former best friend to obtain an abortion without parental permission. Joining me now on Skype to talk more about Unpregnant is Father Dave Pivonka, president of the Franciscan University of Steubenville, and Maureen Ferguson, senior fellow of the Catholic Association and co-host of EWTN's radio show and podcast, Conversations with Consequences. Welcome back, and thank you both for being on the show. I know the two of you recently co-authored an opinion piece on this movie and its trivialization of abortion. What did you think when you saw the trailer, and what was your first reaction? Father Dave, I'd like to start with you.
Sure. Well, thank you for letting us be here with you. Honestly, my first reaction was actually total sadness. When I heard about this and when I saw the trailer and when I saw the video of the man and woman who made this, honestly, it was just this really sadness, like I've been hit in the gut. And honestly, the first thing I did is I went to the chapel and I just prayed. It's just so dark and it's so twisted, and the corruption of that, which is so the first thing I did is I was sad and I went and prayed, and that's honestly what I continue to feel for this whole situation is just what we've done to undermine the value and the beauty and the dignity of life, and that we can make a comedy out of abortion. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, Maureen, your thoughts?
Well, Father Dave flagged this for me. I was unaware of it. And as a mother, I'm usually pretty tuned in to what's being marketed to our teenagers. We all know that pop culture has become so toxic, but I think this one really reaches some new lows. And I was so grateful that Father Dave flagged this and asked if I would be interested in co-writing this piece with him. We're grateful USA Today published it. But my reaction was really just the same. I was profoundly sad. It's an incredibly insensitive movie being marketed to our teenagers, giving them the message that abortion is no big deal and you can even just laugh about it. And if any of your viewers aren't familiar with the backstory, it's these girls who, well, one girl finds herself pregnant and she lives in a state where there are parental consent laws. So she and a friend go on a road trip to another state. So they're also teaching our teenagers how to circumvent state laws. And then it's this movie that's supposed to be hilarious. And of course, comedy, humor can be an excellent tool in many situations to add a little levity to situations. But of course, abortion is 100% tragic. It's tragic for the unborn child, of course, but such a sadness for the mother as well.
Maureen, this was going to actually go into my next question, talking to you as a mother. This movie is rated PG-13, and of course you're concerned about the overall message this movie sends, as all parents are and all people. What message do you think it sends that's considered acceptable viewing for children that young?
Well, I'm a mother of 5 children, and when I talked to some of my teenage girls about this, they were horrified. They said, first of all, a girl who finds herself in that situation is going to be terrified, and what she needs is a message of hope and a message of encouragement that you can do this. She needs to be showered with love and hope. And so my daughter's reaction was, oh my gosh, this is just a horribly insensitive way to handle a really difficult issue. And as a mother, of course, to say this is okay for a 13-year-old to view is just, as I said, we know Hollywood does not share our values, but this is a very aggressive push to undermine the sanctity of life and the parent-child relationship, because they're teaching girls to go around their parents, around the state law, which requires parental notification or consent. And it's outrageous on many levels.
Yeah, we don't have much time left, but I do want to talk about this again. You both mentioned in your piece that one of the movie's screenwriters and co-author of the book talked about the use of laughter as a way of, quote, taking away fear and shame. What's your response to that? And we all know the sanctity of life is so precious and it's a serious topic. Father Dave, your comment.
Well, yeah, on one level, I agree that I'd love to laugh. And I think there's a real sense of holy laughter that's good and that's virtuous and that's right. But I found myself reflecting on the text from beginning of the 12th chapter of Romans, where Paul says that we need our mind to be transformed so that we can know what is good. And this is just a prime example of our culture saying something is good, but their mind has been so warped and so twisted that they could actually say that it's a good thing to laugh about the topic of abortion, that it's a good thing to laugh. And again, it shows, I think, the depravity that we've come to. And just really quickly, that I think is important as well is that I'm sure the author of this has friends who had abortion, but it just seems so insensitive to the woman. And I've tragically had to walk with women before who have had to deal with this, and there's nothing funny about it. Even in the most egregious situation, there's nothing funny about it. And I just wondered what was motivating everything when it was all said and done.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both for coming on and talking about this and bringing this to light. We appreciate it. Father Dave Pivonka, president of the Franciscan University of Steubenville, and Maureen Ferguson, senior fellow of the Catholic Association and co-host of EWTN's radio show and podcast Conversations with Consequences. Thank you both again.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.